neck, my back, my and my crack.
We should never sing on this.
Every formula.
Coming at you live from Venus. Uncle Dre and Auntie Chris bring you Gangster Goddess Broadcast.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we here for? Let's go.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
It's really weird to be in quarantine with you.
Doing an
We're still in a
episode?
quarantine.
So
We have a few things that we need to remember. We need to open up to camera, right? Because we're not on Zoom. This is weird.
Very weird.
Also,
Okay.
the notes situation. Like, how are we doing this? I don't know.
It's all going to take a second.
Yeah,
it's all going to take a second.
It's a little weird.
Normally we open up with, normally.
I'm
This is
sorry.
a new, oh my God.
Welcome to Gangster Goddess Broadcast with Uncle Dre and Auntie Chris.
Why do you always say my name? I want
don't
to say
know.
Auntie Chris.
You do?
I do.
How about I just say, welcome to Gangster Goddess Broadcast with...
Uncle Dre and Auntie Chris.
Okay,
You're
good.
supposed to say it. We
No,
switch names.
No, I'll just always do welcome to Gangster Goddess Broad. You know something? Can you just put more lipstick on?
No, I'm done. Enough with the lipstick.
Put more lipstick on.
I have a pound on already. My lips are going to fall off my face.
I'm tired. We're doing this late at night. Okay, hi. How you
Okay.
doing? So we're still a Soprano rewatch, right? Relate, rehash the
Rehash.
things that we do.
Yes. We're going to rehash this
This episode
forever. We're just going to keep going and going and go. We're like the Energizer Bunny. Okay. So we're at season 2, episode 2.
It's good to see you, Chris.
I know. It is nice to be. It's
really-
weird to be
It is.
in.
I'm just gonna stare at you the whole time. I can't talk. Can you talk? You just do this.
No,
All
that's
right.
good.
Okay.
Let's go.
You want me to do the recap?
Yes, it's season 2, episode 2, Do Not Resuscitate. Aired January 23rd, 2000.
Wait. Remember how we used to have an Ajita segment? I'm taking my glasses off. I still want to talk. I don't want to talk about The Sopranos yet. Hold on a minute.
All right, let's talk.
Wait, our new opening segment is Busted and Readjusted.
Yes, I love
So yeah. Do you feel busted or readjusted today? How do you feel?
I'm a little busted up today. I got to be honest with you. I've
me
been
why.
a little busted up. Well, I'll tell you why I was busted this
Don't
week.
yell at me like that.
Sorry, I just thought of something
You're
that
getting
makes
very aggressive
I
right now.
thought of something that makes me feel really aggressive. And for the busted and readjusted is a weekly thing. How were you busted? How were you readjusted? Did you readjust? This
It's also
week,
life. It can be an
It's life. It could be
overarching theme of
everything.
our lives. But I
Whatever
think we're always getting busted and then having to readjust.
Exactly. And like whatever
Microphone.
we need to air out or, whatever. Anyway,
And this episode of the GGB is brought to you by our wonderful sponsors, Hellofresh.
yes. And go to hellofresh.com/GG80 for $80 off and use code GG80 with free shipping.
Can I say it too? I want to say it once.
Go ahead.
GG80.
GG80.
Don't
code
mess
GG80.
around.
Gangster Goddess 80 for $80 off.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Delicious.
So good.
Hungry.
Back to the episode.
Back to the episode.
Busted. I think I might have mentioned this to you. In my backyard, I found a snake. I'm not joking. I mean, I
saw a
didn't
picture
find
of
it.
it. It was insane.
8 feet long. 8
it's
feet
crazy.
long. For people that are watching us on YouTube, literally the body of the snake. I mean, it was a gopher, so it wasn't toxic or
was huge.
venomous.
It was huge. But then you saw another snake in the road, a dead snake.
I don't know. Like I
There's
live
a
in the
totem
wilderness.
going on here. I know you're deathly afraid of snakes.
It's
but
my
did you
worst.
look it up? Because it might be your spirit animal, and there might be some beautiful meaning to these snakes.
It is my worst fear. I want to put my house on the market if anyone's looking to buy.
But you know what? Like snakes,
a mid-century
it's a
modern
rebirth,
house.
because
What?
snakes shed their skin, and there's a whole rebirth. And I think that
I
you and I are in the
know.
middle of
We're
a little
in the-
rebirth together. We're being kind of birthed together.
I
It's
know.
nice. It's like we're twins.
It is nice. But yeah,
But,
so that threw me and busted me up. And I've been literally having nightmares about it, not being able to sleep, thinking that I've like kept a door open in my room and all of a sudden there's going to be like a snake in my bed. Like really crazy stuff. It's my worst fear.
There was a big water bug on me in the garage the other day, and I didn't even know we had those here. I thought that was a New York thing.
Oh, those big ones?
Yeah.
Like those? Yeah, no, those are gross. But the kids
snake.
like to look at them. The
That
snake.
picture you sent me, the snake in the grass. And what is Livia called Janice in this episode?
A snake in the grass.
Did she say snake in the grass?
I think
right?
so.
She's a real
yeah.
snake in the grass, that one. And then Carm's like, she has no work ethic.
I think so. But readjusted.
Well, yeah, because I think you need to accept the fact that the snake is actually not a symbol of total danger. It's how you perceive it. It's how you see it. It's how you vibe with it. And you saw 2 snakes in one day. I think you need to read up on it and see what that might mean for you. And especially because we are in the middle of a rebirth.
And you?
Let's see, what's busted and readjusted me this week? Well, I was supposed to drive to New York. And now I'm not because we decided to start a new podcast out of nowhere. Yeah, so I've decided to stay, but that's not why I decided to stay. The real reason why we were driving there to drive Ginger home. Everybody knows who Ginger is, Ginger fame. But because my mom has dementia, so I wanted to get home to her and be with her. And the mom that I live with, I have 2 moms. We all know that I'm mom heavy.
You do have 2 moms. Can you explain that a little further? Because I understand it, but I don't know if anyone else does.
Sure, I guess because we are a new podcast, and if people haven't listened to our old podcast, they may not know. But I was raised by our housekeeper, who was she became more my nanny than anything else. My mom was a playwright. She'd been, doing her thing and trying to not live up to her mother's expectations, which would have been a much different life for my mom. My mom broke the mold of her neighborhood. My mom comes from a mafia background, actually. We'll talk about that more. I'll definitely get into stuff like that at some point. But so yes, my mom didn't want to be a stay-at-home mother who raised children. She didn't see the nobility in that because she was trying to break away from her lifestyle.
Something better for herself.
For herself,
Different, yeah.
The 1950s Harlem mafioso father who was a heroin dealer and all kinds of nefarious activities.
Well, the fact that your mom got out of that, she's a gangster goddess right there.
Yes, she is a gangster goddess, and she wrote about her life a lot in her plays. But she lost it towards the end of when everybody died, when all of the characters in her life, the players, died. It was like she checked out. I don't even know if I've said this before on the last podcast when we're talking about Livia, the dementia, whether or not it's real or not. I know that it's real for my mother, but we also question if it's just an easy way out of
or
having
stress-induced, maybe.
And stress-induced. She also ravaged her brain and her body because she, and it relates to this episode actually, when Livia says to Janice, "You never liked yourself." And you and I will talk about that because we like to relate to everything that's on the show. And that's a big theme, I think, in all of our lives. I think it's a theme in a lot of people's lives. I think that, human beings live until they're 90 sometimes because our path is learning to love ourselves. As much as learning to love the person next to you, you're not going to love the person next to you unless you have a real, genuine love for yourself. We are giving birth to this
baby
second podcast of ours.
Second episode in, baby. Yep, we're doing it.
And we're going to do the rewatch because that's what our fans enjoy. But we're also really excited to go into other areas.
Yes.
Especially the busted
we
and justed area. And Chris is going to kill me, but I'm going to say it again because I like to say it every time. I can't wait to dive into just a tiny bit of female mafia history. Okay, I'm not going to talk about it too much. Okay, how about we get into the episode 2 recap?
Let's do it.
You want me to read it,
I
don't
do.
you?
Go.
Oh my God, I have 17 pairs of glasses.
We're switching everything up. Go.
Episode 2 recap. Sorry.
I love it too.
On today's episode of The Sopranos, Do Not Resuscitate, Tony deals with protesters at a construction site. Junior gets released from prison. We see Livia's health continue to decline, as does her relationship with Janice. And we learn more about Big Pussy's divided loyalties. I think the episode is actually about a lot more things. And I've been thinking about our theme, Busted and Readjusted, a lot. And thinking about how it relates to even this episode.
How?
Heavily, actually. Really heavily.
Who's busted up? and
Well,
readjusted.
the relationships,
'Cause I didn't-
all of these relationships have been busted.
Yes, absolutely.
The relationship between Tony and Livia is busted. Melfi and Tony are not speaking, so we're away from that for a moment.
You know who is busted and readjusted? Tony and Uncle Junior. They
Yes.
readjusted in this
Yes.
one, which actually,
Well, it's not there yet, but it's
I don't know.
It's on its
getting
way.
there,
And
yeah.
I by the way, our show is produced by two rock and rollers. We're not around, okay?
yeah.
And then there's our girl Margot.
Our girl Margot.
She's our lady.
yes.
She's our
She's
queen.
our third trifecta over here.
But the boys are the technical producers. Is everything cool, boys? Everyone's drinking coffee in the background.
Everything's great.
Take off your pants.
No, please go. Come on.
Can you both
anyway,
take off your pants while
the
we continue to
title.
work?
I'm
Okay,
getting
fine.
back into
Okay.
Do Not
Anyway.
Resuscitate. DNR.
Well, hold on.
What?
Busted and readjusted.
Yes.
Well, you know what? We'll talk about it as we go.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we're
Get
gonna-
into the title, Chris.
Everything is going to go into
go,
it.
Go.
Medical clause, right?
Yes.
DNR. Janice and Tony talk about signing the DNR for Livia, and it could be an end of something. Obviously, it's relating to resuscitate, repairing relationships.
Yes, but we can go. You know how I like to reach for things.
Of course.
We can go a little farther with this insofar as when you think of resuscitation, you think of a mouth. You think about Jimmy. Can you say his name?
Altieri.
Oh,
yes.
no, this doesn't work for me.
Jimmy, and by the
Listen.
way, people, new podcast. Oh, hold on. Where's my angle? Look at me. I'm like this. Oh, it's right there. New podcast. New mouth.
shot.
New mouth. Jimmy Altieri.
Okay. Well, you know what, guys? Everyone out there.
I got murdered on the last podcast.
No, it's
for
my favorite.
saying, I don't know what. How did
If
I
you don't
pronounce it?
mispronounce words,
Okay.
I'm quitting.
Okay, let's
You
go.
bet. No.
No,
Yeah, no.
it's not words. It's
No,
names.
it's a thing. It's an Italian thing.
Great.
It's a thing that
Moving
you do
on.
that reminds me of my family and reminds me of my youth.
Your youth.
You must mispronounce several words. Why? I'm
It's
going to
in
tell you
my
why. I'm
contract.
going to tell you why.
It's in my contract.
Because we're making merch with this podcast,
Yes.
right? Are
Yeah,
we not? Because
yeah.
now that we have your sexy lips catching a bullet,
Oh my gosh.
right?
Yes.
We're making merch. Now I'd like to have a T-shirt, which is all of Chrisisms. I want.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Now.
it's gonna be great.
Stop it.
So fans out there, when she mispronounces a word, please
Oh,
write
no,
it
no,
in
no.
to remind us.
It's gonna say Carmel.
Yeah, it's going to say Carmel, Sylvia for Silvio. It's going to say Jimmy Altivica. I don't know. What
I
was
don't
it?
even remember what I said. Sometimes I just my
But
brain.
I like when she's called the Jimmy Kimmel show is the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Oh, just shut up. Anyway, my brain goes faster than I just don't know. People, I'm dumb. How about that?
No, you're the brains behind everything that we do. You are the farthest
my
thing from
God.
dumb. But the mispronouncing of certain things.
I have to tell you, I told you my dad cannot pronounce.
What does your dad say?
He says for Uber is which H.
I love it.
It's Huber.
I love it.
And I'm like, Dad, an Uber? He's like, I tried to get a Huber at the airport. Or human being, he takes the H off. It's human being.
I like it.
He's from
going.
Jersey. We're all from Jersey.
My grandmother had lots of them.
I mean,
Tylenol for Tylenol.
Yeah, it's like, and every
The
time
remote
you
control.
cannot correct them. It just doesn't. And he's a smart man. He's self-made, like smart man. Nope, human being.
Like you.
Anyway, let's move on.
Human.
Let's move on.
Okay,
to,
fine.
to the episode summary.
Well,
and
hold on a minute. Hold on.
undertones
Let's always
of
check in
season-
with each other if it's okay to move on, because you know that sometimes it's not okay for me to move on.
Oh God,
Hold on. Let me refer.
we're moving on to
Okay.
the undertone.
DNR. I just want to talk about the
Okay.
title
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah,
one
yeah.
more
Okay.
minute because it's really important to me. The mouth reference. I said that. I think that the way AJ talks about DNA also.
It's good.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with Tony, where he says to Janice, "Let sleeping dogs lie. Do not resuscitate." Like, why revive this relationship? Why? Like, these are two estranged mother and daughter situation. Like, why? And Junior asking him to revive his relationship with Livia.
Yeah.
Pussy is in the middle of, in the trenches of becoming a rat. Everybody has to they're all sort of busted and trying to find their ways in which they're going to readjust
Yeah.
to the new norm for them. Like Pussy is going to, be in protective custody at some point. It goes on with all the characters, I think. So Yeah.
I agree. I see that. I hear you. Would you like to move on, Dre?
Yeah, thanks for checking in, Kushner. Put my glasses on.
Okay, so we're gonna go into the undertone and the summary of it.
I love that. Overarching theme's my favorite.
I know.
Go.
I mean, this is basically seeing
Oh,
characters.
yeah,
Go
go
ahead. Seeing people more clearly. There's a whole thing in the optometrist office, which obviously.
Ironic. The
It's
whole
very
using-
ironic.
Of course, they were going to pick an eye doctor, a heart doctor, and an eye doctor. Those are the two doctors' offices that Junior visits, and I think that's very.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very telling because there's clearly a lot of heart in this episode. There's a lot of
him and
anger.
Tony, I feel like they love each other. Like there's something there. There
I
obviously.
don't know about Junior and his love. I question his. But Tony,
But Junior can't see past himself. But yeah.
which is why I think he wants to switch his glasses, and he says, "I don't like what I look like."
Oh yeah. Did you see the best part when he was talking to Bobby Bacala? Mm-hmm. Did I say it right? At the
You did.
top?
Wait, do you know how to say his full name?
No, I'm
Come on,
not
say
even-
it. Come on,
Nope,
Joe, please
nope,
say it.
Nope,
Come on,
not
come on,
even
come on,
trying.
come on, come on.
Anyway,
Bachelary.
Bachelari.
Okay.
Got it. So Bobby Bachelari and Junior.
You sound sexy when you say that. With those
Okay,
lips. With your donkey lips, girl.
They are in the optometrist office, right?
Yes, that's one of the doctor's offices. I think the first doctor's office is actually
But
the
he's
heart
like,
doctor,
"Did you
right?
see me on TV?" And
He doesn't like what he looks
and Bobby,
like.
who's like the big dumb guy, is like, "You're on TV? What? What are you on TV
I know,
for?"
I
Like,
love that.
So, and he tells it
on the news, you.
and he tells that silly joke, and he's like, "Well, I don't get it, huh? What joke?"
But that's
Anyway.
I think that's an underlying theme on the show too, about people seeing, obviously seeing other people clearly, but about seeing yourself. That he doesn't like what he looks like on television, which is, it's a physical thing, but I think it's beyond that. I think he is
feels-
ashamed of what he's done.
He's not the boss. He knows he's a joke. He knows he was a setup to
Yeah.
take the fall. I mean,
And Tony
he's-
doesn't stop reminding him of
No,
that.
and Tony, yeah, he knows this. All of his capos were having meetings without him. I mean, he's a joke. No one has respect for him. They don't see him in that way.
No.
So there you go.
And the only safe place for him right now is with Tony. But Tony, I feel like his love is genuine for Junior, and there's still I just
Yeah.
don't. I trust Junior. I mean, especially I'm jumping ahead towards the end of the episode, but anyway,
No,
yes,
don't do it.
The undertones and seeing
don't.
people clearly, seeing themselves clearly.
We see Bobby, who's introduced as, like
Yeah.
a pushover,
Right.
kind of like big and dumb.
Yes, and he was wearing a fat suit.
Oh, I heard that.
He wasn't big enough for them.
But he's a big, I mean,
I know,
guy.
but, but he
he's
trumps,
a big guy.
definitely trumps Tony Soprano, big pussy, and everybody
Yeah,
with that
he's-
size.
he's a big
He's
dude.
a tall guy too, and I love him. I love Steve's character. I always love that
He
character.
looks like a gentle giant, right?
Yeah, and the reason why I always thought that he was perfect casting to come in at this point, because I knew that that they were going to be, that Pussy was going to be not for long on the show, but Pussy and Steve play that same. You
Yes.
love. There's this like
softness. There's a softness to them.
yeah,
Absolutely.
you just love them, and they're also fantastic actors.
Yeah.
They're really great. I love the way Steve played his character because he's so like a deer in headlights, but then he has that moment where he just says, you don't have to talk to me like that, and he actually under his breath, not even under his breath, he calls him. I don't know. We'll see it
But,
later.
I mean, you know
but-
what? I guess I know I just said he's a pushover, but is that a pushover? Because I feel like he knows what Tony's capable of. And is anybody in Tony's presence, unless you want to open your mouth and get whacked, you're going to keep
Right.
your. So is it really a pushover or is he smart? He was on, he said he inherited Junior. He knows he's playing for the other team to a certain degree, even though he's not a fan of Junior, really.
I like how they go from Al Sapienza, Mikey Palmisi, like the good-looking, handsome, slick guy, to this big mamon.
But I don't understand the fact that the Bobby was always on Junior's crew and then he's just showing up now in season 2, episode 2.
They were all hiding. That's why Tony even says like, "Come to come out of household," like calzone on legs.
That was great. That is good.
Oh, I don't like the fat jokes. I don't like it.
It's so good
don't
though.
like
For
it.
this scene, it's good. And he's speaking. I mean, whatever.
It's funny to watch like one heavyset guy rail another heavyset guy.
I mean, whatever.
Whatever.
Okay. So Janice, her true colors come out, and Olivia sees her Janice for who she is.
Yeah,
And
that's
we
all.
basically
Those
see-
scenes are my favorite
and
scenes.
Janice's reason for coming to New Jersey. She's after money in Livia's house.
Yeah, and she's I think that this is a big one. This is an overarching theme for me, and I you might think I'm pushing too far, but it goes into a lot of the scenes with the Black protesters, and when we meet the father of the Reverend, but they're both Reverends, right?
Yeah.
We have Reverend Senior and Reverend Junior, James Junior and James Senior. Are they both Jameses? I think.
Why do you have 2 pairs of glasses on your head? Just wondering. You literally have.
I do.
Okay, go.
Because one of these reflects and one doesn't, but I don't know. I don't know which glasses are better for me here.
Gotcha.
I don't know what's going on. But and I'm a mess. But
Reverend James Jr. Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about? Mm-hmm.
but I think that there is a theme going on here of freedom. And I think it even relates to the title "Do Not Resuscitate." When someone
Gets let go.
gets let go, they're emancipated.
Like-
It's their like an exodus kind of thing.
Yeah. I
And
can
the
see
Reverend
that.
mentions that when Tony mentions religion to him and the Bible, and it's an important moment. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. I think that. Oh yeah, and yeah, people, and we're also dealing with people growing older in this episode.
Yeah.
We're really feeling the impact of the elders and Reverend Junior. God, I don't know how to say their name. Reverend James Junior. He says it in that scene with. I'm just gonna keep taking my glasses.
I
on
know.
and
I
off.
just
On
watching.
Zoom, I have my glasses on the whole time because I have to look at you and I
know,
can't see
I
you.
know.
But now
It's okay. I like watching it. You're just back and forth.
I'm pulling all my hair out.
I noticed. That's what I'm saying too. Anyway. Okay. So.
I mean, are we going to go scene by scene? Is that we
No,
we
we're
still
just
wanna
kind of
do the
jumping
same old thing
around
that
to
we've
the
always
stuff.
done?
Well, I did the
I want
scenes.
to do it different. I want to do it dancing.
Oh, no, we're not doing a dance.
I want to do it
Oh my
dancing.
God. We're going to go through the scenes that meant something to us. Okay. So, new players. We have Jack Massarone.
Because when you look at the signs, even in the framing, I think who directed this? Martin Brucely. I never know if I'm saying his name right.
You are.
But I am.
I think so.
That's nice that you know that.
Oh my God. I would know
He's
that.
my old friend too on the show. He was the music supervisor and he directed a few
funny.
episodes. He's fantastic and I loved him. Anyway, the framing, you see all these signs and it says and for their jobs, equal rights, all kinds of things. And it's interesting that, of course, I'm sure that's such a David Chase Soprano production team choice. So yeah, there's Jack Massarone, and then it's the first time we see Bobby Bacala.
Bacala.
Can you
Bobby Bacala.
say his full name?
Bacalari.
Cute. Bachelary.
Bachelari. Bobby Bacala Bachelari.
I like how you say that. Go ahead.
Bobby Bacala Bacalari.
No, it's Bacala.
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 Bobby Bachelari. I'm always going to do it. I'm even reading it and I still switch. I think I'm dyslexic.
I think
am.
you're cute. What you are is cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm
That's
cute
right.
in
This
that
is the
like
only female
third-
soprano rewatch, people.
This
Let's
is
just
it.
remind everybody.
We are it.
We'll talk about Bobby Bacala because he's one of my new favorite characters on the show. There's so many new characters.
We are the only female Sopranos rewatch.
Yes, we are.
That's great. And that's why it's called Gangster Goddesses.
But our balls,
Gangster Goddess.
it's like we have 3 balls each
Why?
because we just do.
Yeah, okay.
That's us.
I actually knew a kid in high school who did have 3 balls.
That's crazy.
And I really want to say his name so bad right now, but it'd be so bad because his name is pretty interesting too. Okay.
Bobby 3 balls?
Yeah, not really, but kind of. Okay. Agent Skip. He's a new player too. FBI agent. He looks like a wise guy. He looks like and he's an FBI agent.
Well, let's talk about his name. First of all, Skip. Skip is a common, I mean, I think you hear Sirico call the boss, Tony Soprano, Skip.
Skipper.
every
No,
now and then.
Skipper.
Because the Skip
Yeah.
is the captain of
Captain
a
of the
ship.
ship.
So Skip, that makes sense because it's also Skip is not a very Italian name
No.
if that's his actual name. And then we have the Reverend James Jr. and he's our Christian minister, secret associate of Tony Soprano.
We find that out at the end of this episode.
There's a reveal towards the end of the episode, which is cool because you don't know that that's happening. But then you realize that these religious characters, like Father Phil, who leverages food within a crooked world, and the
Food
Reverend
and
James
everything
Jr.
else.
is leveraging money. He's on the take. So
Yeah.
that's where we're
I
at.
think the Father Phil is leveraging as much as he can get in any way. Watches, food, everything.
Yeah. But they're on the take. These are not holy men. This is not
No.
yeah, they're not working for God.
No, they are not. God is not their Skip.
No.
Okay, so the episode opens up with Tony visiting Uncle June in jail.
I love this episode. I love the anger. I love when Tony Soprano's off. I love it. He must have pebbles in his shoes
The
all
fact
the
that
time.
that he can even go. I mean, this guy wanted him dead and was someone who raised him, who helped raise him.
Right.
And I'm not that person. So.
But the way, he's angry. There's a
Excuse me.
standoff on the phone at first with, who's going to pick up first.
Yeah.
It's like a race. It's so awesome. And then, and remember, what we talked about in our last podcast, Ginger was telling us about with the rocks in the shoes. I think he definitely has rocks in his shoes or rocks in his underwear, or something
Yeah.
because he's so on fire already. But even through his intensity, he says, "What's this here I hear about your heart?"
I know.
You
He's
know.
concerned. He's obviously, there's a battle going on there with that whole relationship for him.
Yes. And it could have been anything. It could have been, I mean, Junior's going to have other things wrong with him. But the fact that we start with the heart right at the top of the season 2, you see how much heart Tony has. No matter what, I mean, he really is the anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
His heart does lead him through so much. His ego does too. But when it comes to his family,
Well, he's got so many dimensions. Yeah.
yeah. So the fact that he asks him about his heart right off the bat, it's like, it's like a little kid with his dad who sees all of the ugliness, but just he loves his dad. He needs that validation. He needs that relationship. A father-mother relationship is much different, but a father-son relationship, and I feel like Junior and Tony Soprano have this heavy father-son.
Yeah. Well, he's the
relationship.
closest thing to his dad that he had, and his dad's gone.
Yeah.
What I didn't understand, or still don't, in the scene, why is it so important for Uncle?
Oh, that's my favorite. Keep going. Keep going. Keep the words.
Uncle
Keep the words. Ooh,
Stop it. I would
you look how
stop.
cute you look when you.
Why is he trying to urge Tony back to Olivia?
Yeah.
You see what I,
I
just said? You didn't even hear what I said.
I have to clear my throat because I have Chinese food stuck in my throat.
Okay.
Yeah. Why does he want to push him towards reconciliation?
Yeah. Why? Like, what is that angle? Like, what's he tried to kill his nephew with his mother, and now he's just so intent on this
Yeah,
whole
he's hell-bent.
episode that these two reconcile. Why?
Well,
Does Olivia have something
there's
over him?
Well, I think there's a few things here. I think his guilt is ravaging him. I think he's been humiliated to death by this entire situation. I think
So why does he
there's-
care then?
Well, I also think that if they can maintain a united front as Sopranos
Yeah.
and
Maybe
somehow show, and this is again the busted and the readjusted, How do we readjust so that we appear whole to the families? They can't look disjointed. They can't appear to be weak. That's a weakness.
Well, he's all about, and he even said, we talked about him, Uncle June, in the optometrist office when he was saying, how'd I look? How'd I look on camera? Do I need
hates
a
himself.
do I need a neck lift? Do I need, or I think
Did he
says,
say a neck lift?
no, but
Chris?
maybe I was thinking I
Chris,
need
did he
one.
Say a neck lift?
No, maybe I'm making that up. He said
Wow.
something about like maybe I should get something done, right? Did he say something like that?
I don't know about that, but he was thinking about changing
His glasses. He definitely
for him,
said
'cause
the
he didn't like how
glasses.
he looks, but I think that it's a much deeper.
Yeah, it's deeper, but it's still that same that same ego that he just, whatever it takes, you make amends with your, just so we look like we've got it all together.
Yes.
It's just about
Appearances.
appearances.
About appearances.
Yeah,
which-
he wants everybody to see them as this strong family, and him to be seen with these big glasses on. Those glasses are great.
Oh my God! Thank God he didn't change his glasses, because I haven't seen the series in years. So when he was
Oh, he
commenting
looks so
on that, I wasn't
cute.
reading into the dimensions of each scene and the subtext. At face value, I was like, "Holy fuck, is he changing his glasses?" Because if he is,
I know.
I'm checked out.
I'm
I'm
out.
not watching
I'm out
the
of
show
this.
anymore.
He that one when he had that look on his face. He looked so cute in that
He's so
scene.
shifty eyed.
No, he looked little. He looked like a 5-year-old in that scene with
I
those
know.
glasses on. He's like, "How do I look?" All insecure.
But we're still in the first scene. So let's go back to that scene. And what he says, one of my favorite lines that my father used to say all the time. Doesn't he refer to somebody as a motherless? And if you think about it,
Does he?
Tony Soprano is motherless.
Yeah.
And he says it a lot. That's a common word
Always.
used on the show.
When he falls in the shower, he says, "Your sister's too." Like
Your
he's
sister's-
always.
that's my father's favorite. Your sister's.
God.
Oh, that's one of my favorites too. I hate to say it. Don't judge me, guys. It's just that I grew up in this world.
She did.
Sorry.
Okay, so then we go to the at the construction site there, and they're picketing protesters, demanding jobs for the black workers.
Yeah, and we don't know what's going on yet, but that's the first time we see the signs. We see the sign.
Mm-hmm.
Something's at play. We don't really know what's going on yet. It's just at this point of the episode, it's definitely just it's the setup for the rest. And then we cut to the Soprano house.
Yes.
Where it's kind of in the same vein. It's Aida, Janice. Oh my God, can we just take a moment? We
She's
got to take
great.
a moment. I am obsessed with watching her. I'd forgotten. I mean, first
How
of
good
all,
she is. Mm-hmm.
I could watch her face all day. I find her face to be one of the more beautiful faces. Her curly hair, her whole vibe.
It's young. It's very young.
Oh,
yeah.
I love her so much, and in real life, I love her so much. She's one of the few cast members that I still hang out with from time to time.
Yeah.
So she's like home to me. So seeing her on the show and watching her do her thing, because I never had scenes with her really, she's fucking phenomenal. To me, she's the female Tony Soprano, and perfectly cast because she plays the
Well,
brother.
because she's so dimensional too.
sister.
There's so many layers to her. Like there's
Yeah.
like that young, innocent, playful, but then there's that
They
other
were in
side.
Streetcar Named Desire together on Broadway.
Oh,
They knew
really?
each other before. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
She's
love
great
her.
in the scene. And the two of them together, you really believe that they are siblings. You know, the way they push each other's buttons, it just reminded me of my 10-year-old and my 12-year-old. I was just like, oh, they know how to get it. She knows how to push his buttons.
Oh, big time.
Oh, yeah.
More so than he. The women are so much more
Yeah.
calculated. I mean, he became calculated, and he took a lot of his advice from Melfi, and the way Livia was giving advice to Junior, but the way I mean, nothing could have been. That character was so perfectly developed.
Can I fix something real quick?
my hair?
Just right here. I'm staring at that one piece
My
of hair.
Oh, I have so many
No,
glasses.
it's good. It's good.
I have lots of
Okay.
glasses going. Anyway,
You tell me when I have lipstick on my teeth, and I tell you when you have a
Thanks, babe.
hair out of place.
thanks.
Okay. Yes. So they're arguing about the house.
Yeah,
right?
Janice is pretending she's concerned about saving money. But again, another scene where I feel like he has rocks in his shoes. He's got
Yeah.
that hose. He's spraying it. He's got a cigar. He comes in so hot. And what does she say? Oh, she was going to visit Livia. That was it. She was going, and she asked Meadow, and Meadow couldn't go. So anyway, she ends up at the office at It's not Green Grove. Is it just another hospital? I thought it was Green Grove that had the hospital division.
No, maybe. I don't know.
Because
I
I've
don't
been
think
looking
they
into
stated.
nursing homes for my own mom right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were all one place. But anyway, she goes to the hospital, and
Wait, yeah, it's not actually Green Grove because
not.
she says in the scene later, you know, I want to take you back to your house to take care of you because now you have me, Mom.
Right.
And Livia is like, wait, what? I want to go back.
Well,
no
there's
more
a bunch
green.
of these scenes.
Oh my God, it's so
There's
good.
a bunch of these
Yeah.
scenes in this episode, and they're my favorite scenes of possibly most of the series. First of all, Nancy Marchand
It's amazing.
she was amazing in the first season. This second season, it's even beyond.
I
The
know.
layers of what her character is playing, it's nuts.
I know.
I mean, it's
Every
crazy.
little tiny move. It's the way she points at things with the whatever is food to the nurse, anything.
But the way she acts up when the nurse comes back in the room every
Yeah.
time,
Oh,
she
it's
puts
a-
on a performance
Oh,
for everybody all the time. She's kind of like me.
No, she's not
a
like
little
you.
bit like me.
You're not like you're
I'm
not
kidding.
like
I'm kidding.
Livia.
I just mean the fact that she'll perform for anybody.
Oh yeah, that.
What can I do
yes.
for you? Want me to do a little song and dance?
Pat your head and tap your what? Anyway, but I like in this scene when she starts going off about her husband. Right? She says something about you don't know, nobody knows what I went through.
Well, let's roll it back.
Yeah.
You could never stand it here. You could never stand yourself.
She calls
Let's
her
talk
out.
about that. Since you and I are known for relating, that is a huge theme in this show. It's a huge theme. And I think it's a huge theme in most people's lives, really trying to
yeah.
find self-acceptance. And it's every character from Tony Soprano seeing his shrink to his panic attacks to his guilt to Junior not liking what he looks like to Big Pussy feeling like he's do I need more mic?
I don't know.
No,
I just want to make sure.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I feel like mine's close to me.
Chris, do you like yourself?
So I want yours to be close to you because I don't want my big. I mean, look, everybody, it's ebbs and flows. Sometimes you're down with yourself, right? And sometimes you're.
What about when you were young? Because she's referencing her daughter buying amphetamines when she was young, selling her ballet slippers to buy amphetamines, probably amphetamines to possibly lose weight. Mm-hmm. That's what chicks looked for amphetamines for back in those days. Let's talk about when we were young for a minute and whether or not we really liked ourselves and how we busted and readjusted.
Well, you can go first. Go ahead, since you bring it up.
All right.
I have to think about that. I need a moment.
Because I think, as your friend, if I
Yeah.
can speak candidly,
Oh, here we go.
I see where some of your stuff is.
Oh, you
sometimes.
do. Oh, great.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Oh, let's
You
go.
don't know. You don't know how beautiful you are. You don't know.
Oh my
You don't
God.
know. I'm going to start to cry.
God.
I'm going to start to cry.
Just
You don't know. And I say it because I relate to it because when I was younger, I also didn't know because I
Oh my God, you're getting teared up a little bit.
No, I will cry. But we're not on Zoom now. I'm right here in the room with you. I will start to cry.
This is weird, man. This is f***ed up. This is f***ed up. But
Oh my God. Okay. Now I can take my
thank
glasses
you.
off.
I had a body thing definitely when I was young. So yes, I went through some
But
shit.
it's usually not really about our bodies.
I know.
It's usually
No, I
about
know. That's what I'm
something
saying.
else.
That yeah.
I had it too because when I was 12, I would put at my daughter's age. I put a note on my refrigerator from my mother that said, "If you see me going into the refrigerator, please kick me in the stomach."
Oh my God.
Can you imagine if your
No.
daughter put a note on her refrigerator that said that?
No.
I mean, my mom was so busy being my mom that these weren't the things that were really important to her.
Yeah.
She only kind of took responsibility for that stuff once I was much older, and I really busted up my life as much as I could. And then she did come in and help me readjust it. But at 12 years old, to be someone who already didn't even understand the concept of not liking oneself, but you write a letter like that and put it on the refrigerator. Your mom, who is a f***ing writer, who is diving into people's emotional lives, and she was an amazing writer, that she doesn't take the time to be like, what is this about?
Yeah.
You know, this
and it's
is
not
intense.
like, by the way, I've seen pictures of you at that age. You were never, ever a heavy kid, not
No.
even chubby, not even overweight,
No.
nothing.
Even on my time on The Sopranos, when I would have to put on those little outfits,
Man.
I was like, you know, everyone's going to be looking at me like I look crazy, like I look weird, like, you know, I feel so self-conscious. I feel so naked. Like I was never free in my skin.
Oh, I never felt that way. I
Never.
still don't, to be honest with you.
No.
So that's
Yeah,
something I'm
so-
always fighting. Yeah.
But the busted and readjusted and not liking yourself when you're little, for their family, for a kid like Janice, she had the approval of her dad always, you could tell, but he was always using her. He used the kids for his own benefit, for his business. It wasn't like these were parents that were actually nurturing these children to become anything. Carmela says it to Livia. She has no work ethic. You know, whose fault is that? And it's true. They're just sort of floundering, you know. And I think that, you know, when you grow up in a family like that, where the parents are so busy and self-consumed, the kids don't really know many boundaries. At least I know I didn't. And there just wasn't a lot of focus. There, you know, there's like, here's a credit card. You're pretty. You're cute. I can't help you with your homework. Leave it out. I'll do it for you. There was no like growing of the child. It was like, let me just take over for you. And
Yeah, that's true.
you know, so then who are you? I don't like myself. What is there to be proud of? I'm not doing my own homework. I'm not.
You're pretty. You're pretty.
But I was
you're
pretty.
You're pretty.
So that
Yeah.
became everything all of
Yeah.
a sudden. And it's like,
And
you
God
know-
forbid you don't look pretty one day, or you look in the mirror and you have like a face full of acne one day. You know what I mean? Then
and by
you're
the
like,
way,
you're nothing.
the
Then you don't even
Italians-
have that.
the fucking Neapolitans,
I
they
know.
got a thing. They have a thing that where, you know, they don't, they're like, they have a thing about pretty and not pretty. They're f***ers
What do you
with that.
mean?
The Neapolitan Italians can have this thing. They like beauty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like maybe that's why the Italians have so many gumadas. I
mean,
don't fucking know. My mom also would let me speak freely about any of this stuff. I would never try to betray her in that way because she loves the human condition and loves
Well, being a writer, she dives into everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Even our relationship that was so tenuous when I was young. She loved making amends and loved we tore it apart together, which is to my benefit.
That's
you know,
great.
not many kids have that. So I
No.
got to readjust. But you're still scarred when you're little.
Yeah.
And if you've listened to our other podcasts, you'll know some of the reasons why. But we'll also dive into
We're going to
those
dive into
things
them
here
again
too,
and
'cause
again
why the
and again
not?
and again. Yes. Anyway.
And now a word from our amazing sponsors, Hellofresh. I don't know if I can do this ad right now. I'm so hungry. It's not going to work.
It's not right that we have to talk about HelloFresh while we're starving
I
because they have
know.
the best food and we can whip it up like that.
Okay, so here's the deal with HelloFresh. They deliver to your house in these brown paper bags, totally recyclable, all the ingredients you need for the most delicious freaking meal you've ever had.
Ever.
All different cuisines, mixtures of different cuisines. Like when you're running out of your recipes, all of a sudden, boom, HelloFresh shows up and it's like, oh, hello.
It's so
I'm going to cook this in just 30 minutes. And you do.
Yeah.
Well, Chris's kids do. She has her kids cook for her.
It's so easy, and it's a great family project. I mean, no wonder why it's America's #1 meal kit.
Yes, it is. And what I am obsessed with is how fresh the meats are, because I normally don't like to handle any meats. And I also don't really, you know, with this whole thing, and now that school's about to start again for kids and getting to the supermarket is not really
No.
the happiest event of all time. You know that if you have your HelloFresh meal kits sent to you, you're set for a few days.
Yeah.
With amazing meals. You can feed the whole family. Chris, you do the vegetarian low calorie?
I do the locale. I love it, and the family. I mean, I did that. Like, what was that called? The other meal that I sent you pictures of.
Oh, the
'Cause I
Korean
was
bibimbap.
so
Oh my God.
impressed
No one knows
by
how
it.
to make bibimbap at home, but HelloFresh will make sure that you figure
It was
it out.
delicious. My kids were eating it. I have a 9-year-old. It was amazing, and it
Yeah.
was a great family activity. So
The pork burgers, And I don't even eat
Really?
meat anymore. Oh my God.
So
I know
good?
it sounds weird.
Yeah.
It is one of the most delicious things I ever had in my life. I swear to God. And then the way they send all the condiments, all their
Oh, I
little
know. It's so
packages,
easy.
it's a perfect amount for each recipe. So you know you're not like having to measure. That's why it saves so much time. And the other cool thing about it is you can cancel while you're going to be on vacation, or you can change your menu.
Oh, I'm addicted
love.
to it. I love it.
Me too.
And the good news is, if our listeners or viewers on YouTube go to HelloFresh/GG80, use the code 80, they're getting $80 off.
Oh, wow.
And free shipping.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. It's amazing.
GG80.
GG80, code GG80.
All right.
HelloFresh.com/GG80 and code GG80 to get $80 off and free shipping. That's a great deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dig it. Now I'm starving, but now we have to continue our rewatch. Anyway, so Janice never liked herself. So a lot of people who don't like themselves, they leave and move to other places. They don't have to get as far
New
away
Jersey
from their
for me
families.
to LA. Yeah.
It's like
I
Janice.
needed a
Janice went from
rebirth.
New Jersey to Seattle.
Yep. There you
And
go.
Livia says, "Oh, my daughter from California."
She's like, Seattle, ma.
Yeah.
Seattle,
She doesn't
ma.
even know where her daughter
I love her
is.
face when she says that. Seattle, ma. Like when she walks in
I
that
could
room.
stare at her face all
She's
day
a great
long.
actress.
She's beautiful.
And then Livia starts going into the whole the saint. Why she call her? She keeps on calling her husband.
Oh, that's
well,
such an Italianism. He was a saint,
No,
my
but
Johnny.
she doesn't say
Oh,
it
in this
here.
one, she says, "You don't know how hard it was for me."
So is he a saint or is he an
I
like
think
which is it with her?
He's whoever she
She
needs
wants
him
him
to be to
Yeah.
paint the picture and to play the role
Martyr.
she needs to play, which is always the martyr. God
Always.
knows. And again, I'm so used to hearing my grandmother say all these things. Take me now, kill me now.
My mom would always say, I gave you kids a life. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, or
I
everything on
gave
a
my kids a life on a silver platter. My life on a silver
But
platter.
my mother would say like the spoon thing was sometimes, and the platter. It must be an Italian thing.
cliches.
Is it an
That's
Italian
also an
thing?
old timey thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You were born everything on a
Gave
silver
my life
platter.
to my children on a silver platter.
Okay, so then
I like when she goes, "Just open the window and push me out."
so good. What if someone's like, okay.
You don't fool me for a second. You're here to take my house.
She's the delivery of all those words,
Oh,
unbelievable.
yeah. But I like how when she gets there, she tells her mom that she's working on her self-help book.
Yeah.
And that she might call it some Madame Kerouac or some shit like that. I mean, I love that Janice brings that whole
Is she
element
like
into
that
the
in
show.
real? Like, what's her
No.
vibe? I love it.
We'll get her on here
I
at some point.
Good.
But I don't know if you have a lot of friends that are into. Well, I'm one of them that are into all that.
Oh yeah.
But that's usually sometimes when you have these friends that are like really heavily into their spiritual self, you'll come to learn that they're actually really angry and aggressive underneath it all.
Oh, I see it sometimes.
And they've been dealing
Just
with,
when it comes
with
to
me.
just when it comes to logos. Oh my God,
Chris
logos
wanted-
and trailers.
Yes, logos. We just have to get it right. We got to get the logo right, man.
Yes,
It's a new podcast. The
yeah.
logo's got to be tight.
You're only type A.
It's got to be tight.
And when it's like in one column.
Do you guys
one
like
big.
our logo? Please write it and let us know if you love the logo, because
Yes.
Margot designed it and it's really hot, but we then
drove
tortured her
We
over
drove
it.
her crazy.
Yeah, red, orange, deep red, midnight red,
Black to red, black to
fire
orange.
engine red, candy
Yeah.
apple red. Shut the up. Anyway,
But it's gonna be good with merch. So anyway, okay. Satrielli's back room. Can we go there? Where we meet Bobby Bacala.
well, actually, so then Tony talks to the owner. He talks to Masserone. You see that they're doing their thing there, and then we're in the back room. I
Yeah.
love this scene.
Yeah.
I love this scene. Tony Soprano looks hot. He looks hot. He's got his feet up.
He's charismatic
He's got that
for
seat-
sure.
And there's new wardrobe. There's new wardrobe because I think my girl Juliet Polksa, who is the one who who put me in a bra finally. I don't know if y'all heard me complain in season
we
one.
didn't have to hear you. We
relayed.
saw you.
Yeah, my were flopping all around the
Not
place.
flopping.
So Juliet came in and finally put me in a bra. Thank you, Juliet.
Yes.
But the clothing is like Tony Soprano looks sexy in his sweaters. I'm just gonna say that he wears 2 white sweaters in this episode, and I like them.
You like a white
And
sweater.
he's still really thin in season 2.
Yeah.
He gets bigger towards the end of the series.
So Tony's telling Bobby to relay to Junior that he'll be able to keep 5% of his title. Well, 5% of the earnings, I think he's saying, but he can keep his title as official boss, but the rest belongs to Tony. That's
And he's a prick. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a power hungry prick. He's got his feet up. The body
But
language
why
is
wouldn't
there.
he be? I mean, anyone related, or I mean, anyone in Junior's whole thing. I mean, Junior tried putting a hit on him.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yep. I get it.
He can't, he can't conduct business as normal.
And yeah. A lot of funerals in your corner of the world, huh, Bobby? Because everybody died but him. He's the last man standing.
I like when Bobby says he inherited Junior. He's
Right.
like, I didn't really want, like, this is just something I came into.
Yeah, and he's defending himself there, maybe trying to play that side. It's everybody's kind of playing their sides,
He said, I don't think you have any reasons to talk to me this way. I always liked you.
I know he's
It's
so
cute. He's a
gentle,
gentle
but
giant.
he's definitely he takes a stand for himself, and
Yeah.
nobody ever speaks
In
up
a
to Tony like that.
In a soft way.
But he could, because he's so vulnerable.
Yeah.
He can talk to him that way in a way, And Tony's over the top the way he's treating him. I mean, definitely over the top. But I think he's defensive because is this another Mikey Palmisi situation?
Did you notice that in this shot when Tony was talking about like basically taking everything and being a prick, there was a shot on Pussy where he was like, everybody was looking at Bobby and Pussy was focused on Tony. And it was
Do
kind
you
of,
think Pussy's wired there?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so, right? I haven't gone ahead, so I don't know.
You know what? Pussy's
I think
not
it's
wired here
showing-
because he told Skip later
That he
on
hasn't
that he hasn't
seen
seen
him.
him.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
he's, playing himself. He's playing it safe over there.
Yeah.
He's
But
not
you
sure
could
what side
see,
he's
like,
on.
I think he's like, well, we saw, you brought up the whole thing on our other podcast, being in Pussy's house. And you said Pussy has nothing compared to the way Tony lived. Do you remember you said that?
Yeah.
And maybe he's like looking at Tony. Maybe it's like that side eye look, kind of like, you've got so much and now you're still, everything is mine. You're just, maybe it's that greed. Maybe Pussy feels like he doesn't have anything. And he's got his kid going to college, all these.
Right now, he's still,
And he's-
this week he's on Tony Soprano's side, and then Skip tries to convince him that Tony's a
I
piece
don't
of
know. On Tony's side. I think when he's by himself, he's on the fence, and that's why he's watching Tony. Why is Tony treating Bobby like dirt? Just
Well-
because he's part of he views him as his new guy, Junior's new guy.
Oh, he's ramped up with Junior right now. I mean, and this is season 2, so all of that is just coming to a head.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the Mikey Palmisi replacement. He hated Mikey Palmisi, and now he's
They had
dark
yeah.
with this poor big
Well, because he's
mamon.
He's the guy that you're just going to wreck to pieces. Palmisi gave it back to him. Palmisi felt
Yeah.
protected because Junior wasn't in jail at the time, and Palmisi was a scumbag back.
Oh yeah,
And that was
this
funny.
relationship's going to change.
Yeah, but that
between-
was funny between Palmisi and
Oh, I loved
Tony.
it.
Oh,
I
it
loved
was
it,
great.
and I miss Mikey Palmisi.
And Bobby,
'cause
you
he was
can
an awesome
see
character, El Sapienza. I love him.
Bobby is a type of personality that Tony knows he can just all over.
Yeah, and he's flexing all his muscles, and he's like picking on the weak guy, which is he's pissed. This season he starts out pissed off. He hates his mother. It's a big
Would
deal.
him. I would too. Yeah.
Anyway,
So then Pussy's post-surgery, he's all up in that office, right? And then in the office, the doctor's
did you just
office.
jump?
No, I didn't. Did I?
Yeah, we're still in that scene
Oh my God.
because there's
Did I?
there's some important stuff right here in this scene still.
Okie dokie.
I mean,
Let's
don't you-
go back, Trey.
Let's backtrack.
Back into
because
it.
wait a second.
Back shit up. Back
He says
shit
some
up.
funny shit. He says, he goes, to the victor belongs the spoils.
I know you're going to
You knew I was gonna go to that
Say
line.
this.
because I think it's important. It's an important line within the whole theme of this episode. And also Bobby Bacala is standing in front of that any size suckling pigs Satrial's poster. And to the victor belongs the spoils. Of course, I had to look it up to see where the quote
Did you write your
comes
thesis?
from.
Did you write a paper on it?
No, I did not. But it is a quote relating back to Andrew Jackson, and I'm not going to get into Andrew Jackson.
Do you want to recite it?
No, I'm not going to get into. But it's all about rewarding supporters with government jobs. There's a whole spoil system, but I won't get into all of the particulars with someone like Andrew Jackson, who of course took, we're not going to get into a history lesson. I promise you right now, I'll behave. But
you need a new podcast that's just a history podcast.
I know, but there's a famous comic of a pig, because the spoils is a very, what does the word mean? The spoils, and it's all about. There's a whole greed factor to it. So, Bobby Bacala is letting him know, like, you are the victor and you will inherit all the fucking spoils here, bro. So chill the out. And then Tony's not paying attention to him. And he's like, why don't you get the out before I shove your quotation book up your fat.
Oh my God.
Oh, I love it. Anyway, yeah. So that's all I have to say. But I thought that was an important thing.
It was.
Because I think that line and the entire hold on, I just have to refer to my phone for go ahead, make fun of me. Go ahead, make fun of me.
The victor,
I think that the whole spoils system back in those days, I think it relates to the same way this show took the Roman Empire and uses it as a backdrop for certain things. I think that this whole spoil system thing.
I'm glad we're on a couch now.
Good night, Chris. And this line. Anyway, guys, are you interested in my podcast? The producers in here? Anybody? Okay, the spoil system. But listen, you have this greedy Parvati, Janice coming back to town.
Yes.
Tony Soprano, his mother, Pussy, the feds, like there's this whole like changing of the guard and bringing in, there's all these new players on the show this season. And I just think that there is more weight to that line than it just being a little meek line.
I agree with that.
I just wanted to cover it. I won't talk about it anymore.
No, I like
we
it.
can get into let's talk about Chris. Let's talk about your or my
Let's talk about
Which
your
we
pussy.
talk about. Or should we talk about the Soprano?
Oh, you know what I want to talk about?
My has a bad back too.
Let's talk about the that goes inside the proof underwear. Oh,
Let me take my glasses
Oh,
off
look
for
at you.
this.
You love it. You love talking about proof.
And now a word from our awesome sponsors.
Yes.
Proof underwear. Don't leave home without them.
I thought this was a perfect segue. I'm sorry.
It is a good
We were
segue.
going to do it later, but we have to do it now.
They're awesome. They're my favorite. And they're Bobby's favorite. Bobby is my boyfriend's nickname. His name is Robbie. Did you mention that there is that awesome patent leak-proof thing in the panties?
No, but you can.
I would like to mention it only because a lot of these panties, and I've gone through all different kinds of the leak-proof panties, they have a lot of chemicals in them. And this one does not.
This one's all natural.
So I just have to shout that out because I am a filthy hippie, people.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So you guys go get your wife some of these leak-proof underwear.
You having a hard time talking to Krishna?
Oh my God! Whenever you talk about
how you doing over there?
When you talk to me about pussy, I get all like verklempt.
My neck, my back, my and my crack.
We should never sing on this. Okay. Anyway, there's a hyperlink to order, or there might be some sort of link on our down below.
Okay. Back to
Who's
your mind?
Yep. Okay.
We just call him Sal.
Yeah, Sal.
Sal Bompanciero.
This is Sal. So he's now the highest placed mole inside the Soprano organization. Yes, suggesting that Big Pussy has been an informant since before the show's timeline even started.
Well, he's playing both sides against the middle.
Yep.
He's stressed the out.
Well, that's why his back is so bad and he's, getting operated on. That it obviously didn't work. He said, my
I think
back
it's
still
emotional.
hurt.
It's an emotional
Was it an
burden.
operation? What did he get? Or did he just get a steroid shot in the
I
back?
think he had an operation.
Yeah, because he was all out of it.
But
at the
it's
end.
definitely an emotional burden that's plaguing him. It's not so much his back. But you see here that they say to him, should I get your wife? He's yelling, skip, skip, skip.
Yeah.
That's who he wants. And then you'll see in the next few episodes how he has become like a psycho FBI informant. Like he just wants to, he's become so devoted to this man. He's really put all his trust in Skip. It's almost unnatural.
Well, Skip, I feel like he's playing him because he's.
Oh, they're all playing each other.
Yeah, they're
in
all
this
playing
episode.
him.
I mean, this episode, it's every episode of this show. The way everyone plays
I know,
each
but
other
Skip is
crazy.
like really honing into that. Tony doesn't respect him. He's playing in the car. He's like, that guy doesn't respect
I mean,
you.
he tried to murder his own mother.
Yeah.
Who does that?
It's so weird to me that Skip's an FBI agent and the way he looks.
Well, if you think about that, actually, there's a lot
they
of
did it on
Italian
purpose,
FBI
though.
on this show. Frank Pellegrino, who plays the informant, the FBI guy that plays him the tape. Mm-hmm. That's an Italian. That's one of the owners of Rayo's. He was one of the owners of Rayo's, the restaurant.
Oh,
in
wow.
Manhattan.
I didn't know that.
And I told this story on our last podcast, but my father actually lent him $3,000 to record an album.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, back in
Yeah.
the day, because my dad used to hang out at Rayo's and he used to hang out with all these guys. But that's Frankie Pellegrino. So he plays the main FBI agent. Mm-hmm. And then there's Agent Grasso. And then there's Agent Harris, who really is Italian in real life, who's Matt Servito. His name on the show is Agent Harris.
Yes.
So he plays me later. Like he's one of the FBI agents watching me later through the
Oh, I
binoculars.
can't wait to get into
when
all
I
of that.
bends over.
I can't wait to talk about you to you.
Shut up.
I love it.
But then the girl who plays my FBI, the undercover girl, is another Italian girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that from 20 years ago, by the way, because I haven't watched it in 20 years. There
So
you go.
yeah, it's all, everybody is, everybody.
I was playing everybody. But I think it's good that this guy, Skip, looks like a Goomba because he's undercover. Anyway.
So then you have Junior with the judge. And we find out that he's going to come out of jail. He's going to get out of jail with an ankle bracelet. He makes a racist comment about having an ankle bracelet, but it's not so much a racist comment. It's just annoying to the judge. But however, the feeling like he's in Nazi Germany is another part of an overarching theme, I feel like, for this episode and for the series, is that everybody, to a degree, doesn't have their freedom. Like everybody feels caged into a certain place. Like Janice doesn't have the freedom she wants to live in her mother's house. Livia's been put in this place. Junior is now in a jail of his own by his aging body and his ankle bracelet. Tony Soprano never feels free. He's totally in this. I'm not finding words today.
That's because you're sitting next to me.
No, I am
and
tired.
It's 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, we're doing this at midnight because it's the midnight show.
The midnight
Gangster Goddess.
It's the midnight podcast.
Yes, it is.
Coming
Chris
at you
Cushing.
live.
Yes.
Gangster Goddess.
From Venus.
From Venus. Can we do the whole podcast
In this
talk in
voice.
that register?
I think we
Go
should.
low.
Uh-huh.
If people are going to be like, that's so annoying. Please stop talking. They're like, unsubscribe. By
Go
the
low or
way,
go
if you're
home.
listening to this, can you guys make sure and hit that subscribe button? Because,
Smash it.
Hit it.
Hit it with your
I wanna
foot.
keep,
Do it with your toes. Hit the subscribe button with your toes.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
In this podcast, we're not going to remind you to hit the subscribe button at the end. I'm going to do it in the middle. I'm going to do it
I want
right
you guys
now.
to hit the subscribe button with your toes and send us a video to Gangster Goddess
Yes.
broadcast at gmail.com.
Please do.
And we'll put them on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Go ahead, just do it with your toes.
With your toes.
Or with anything.
No, I
with
love
any
it.
body part.
Go ahead, just do it with your toes. I like when you said it like that.
Do it with your toes.
Do it with your toes.
Tongue.
And send us a video. But make sure you hit the subscribe button.
Mm-hmm.
Download and then subscribe. Because Anyway,
So
Junior with the
he
judge.
goes from making the Nazi Germany comment, and then all of a sudden they're
They let him out.
They let him out, but with an
the
ankle bracelet.
Which I think is the reason why he fell at the end of the episode. I think he's not used. He's got an big ankle bracelet in the shower. Your mother's. Is what he says?
Your mother's at the end.
Mother's
sister's.
Someone's.
It's always got to be.
What a bad word that is. By the way, that's a bad word.
I love it.
Okay. So, Junior shows up at Tony's doctor's office.
No. You go from the Junior scene to Tony Soprano trying to see if Reverend James Jr. is home.
Yes.
And he finds himself with Reverend Herman. And did I say Herman like you? I said Herman with a D.
Whatever. You could add. Listen, there's no rules for us.
No, there's no rules. But Tony loves him. You can tell Tony loves him right off the bat.
Yeah.
This man suspects what Tony, questions his visit. I didn't, because I don't remember, and I've been watching them as we rewatch. I thought he was there to shake him down, to make him feel bad, or pressure him to not picket and to not have the protests out there anymore.
Yeah, I did too.
We don't know that, obviously. But this is an important scene, so I didn't want to skip over it, because Herman says to Tony Soprano while they're talking, and first of all, Tony Soprano likes the fact that he was a World War II vet like Junior.
Mm-hmm. Tony likes the old timers.
Yeah,
he does. He has a respect for them.
He does. His elders.
His elders.
And that comes up in this episode later on when James Jr. is talking to Tony. But he says to him, never underestimate a man's determination to be free.
Yeah.
And I think that, again, is a really important message in this episode. And then Tony Soprano on that line says, I'll catch up with your son later, and leaves.
Yeah.
Tony Soprano mentions the History Channel, which is his favorite channel to watch. And he says, you would love the History Channel.
Yeah.
And he goes, you mean TV? And then Tony Soprano's like, yeah, they have all this religious preacher stuff that you like on there and whatever. And he kind of shoots that down, Herman does, and says something about Moses parting the Red Sea. Mm-hmm. And when you think about that is the big exodus of the Israelites. Mm-hmm. That was a people being free. And then he ends that by saying, never underestimate a man's determination to be free.
Parting the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Yes, it was great.
Yeah. So I think that's that's a big thing for this episode. A man's freedom, never underestimating.
So then Tony shows up at Junior's doctor's office.
Yes.
Right? Because if there's no feds, they let them meet there.
But he's clearly not free.
Yeah.
No one's free in this whole series. And again, Junior wants him to make peace with Livia.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even understand how he's just like having this conversation with anyone who wanted to kill him, especially his uncle.
But for some reason, it's like he hates his uncle and you can see the tension, but it's almost like his uncle is getting a free pass.
Well, no. The difference between Livia, who he holds a huge grudge against, and Junior is not pretending to ignore the fact of what he did. He's taking, I mean, he's got some awareness that he actually tried to put a hit on. He's taking it.
He takes responsibility for it 100%.
Yeah.
There's no way he can't. But
Livia's not like that.
When you hear those tapes last season.
Yeah, they're brutal.
But he says, Livia, you know what this means. You know what I gotta do. I gotta, and then he doesn't finish saying what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's the one. It's not as much Livia. Livia is more calculated.
When you talk to someone that you're fighting with and they have no clue, or they play dumb, or there's no awareness, no responsibility, it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
It's like why we started anew. You know what I mean?
True story.
We're here for a reason because we realized that things weren't going to change. Okay. Anyway, so then we are talking about Junior wants Tony to make peace with Olivia.
Yeah, he's hammering that. He can't stop hammering it, and I don't really know why, other than for everything to seem, I think it's guilt related, and for things to go back the way they were, but things will never be back the way they were.
Yeah.
And
Tony's saying you got played. You got played by
which
an
is
old lady.
basically what you were just saying.
Yeah.
Things weren't going to go back to the way they were. They never were they were never functional to begin with.
Yes.
Which is why we dissolve certain relationships.
Yes.
Like we have.
Well, if you
Chris.
feel you can make leeway in
our
certain
lives.
areas, you push forward, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a business, anything. But when there's zero accountability or responsibility, here I go again. Oh my God.
No, but it's true.
Shut
No,
up,
wait a minute. Listen,
Chris.
this is important. This is important. Not only because listen, the way we relate to
Do you see
things.
my eyes?
This is important because first of all, I'm going through this with certain people in my life, that I have gone through this with certain
Yes, I
people in my
do.
life, and I think we've gone through this on a business level as well. Knowing that certain things are not going to change. Yeah. So what's
Sometimes-
the point in going backwards?
Well,
Just
sometimes you
to
just-
save face. Saving face.
I think with
we're not.
cer-
Look at us right now. This is us saving face.
I think with certain people, you try, whether it's in business or personal, and everyone's got their bottom line. And with Tony and Livia, he had his bottom line. She's pushed him so much, and she never even has zero awareness. And now she could be playing the whole dementia card. So it's
which
like,
she sort of dropped all of a sudden.
Well, I don't know. It's back a little bit here.
A little
it's back
things here.
here
And
in the scene.
satemia, I shall say.
Yeah.
And,
I
there's
don't know. I
little
kind of started
moments.
believing it again in this episode
I
little
don't think
bit.
she has dementia. Being a person who's dealing with a mother that really has dementia,
Yeah. Okay.
have dementia. She is a manipulating.
Yes.
See you
So
next
she's
Tuesday.
hopeless.
Junior's very concerned with how the owner of Green Grove, who we've never heard of before, Freddie Capuano, like all of a sudden he's a player. We've never even seen the guy, the toupee wearing motherless or whatever the he calls him.
I know. That's so weird that we haven't seen him.
Yeah, that he's been talking and spreading rumors about Tony trying to kill his mother, and then that happened to Parisi or Gigi Sistone shows up and kills, and that was in the first episode,
Yeah.
right? Where Philly or Patsy, they're twins because David Chase
Same difference.
brings him back because he
Just
loved the
joking.
actor Dan Grimaldi, which that's in the first episode though. So why am I going backwards?
You just lost me. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
They kill Capuano, the owner of Green Grove.
Yes,
gets
with the and you see his
killed
toupee
for
under there.
gossiping.
I don't even.
How many times have you wanted to kill somebody who was fucking talking shit on you?
Oh my God, I would have a whole. You understand how many people would be dead right now?
Could you imagine killing somebody for gossiping?
Yes.
I mean, it's so. This is why men and women are so fucking different.
So different.
So different.
But they don't even get. I don't know. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I could kill. If I could kill. I mean, everybody talks. Everybody talks.
Well, we know what it's like being
Everybody
two girls.
talks.
No.
That's why you just gotta keep your eyes focused and try to remain positive as much as possible.
That's why you got to keep your eyes on the back of your head, Kushner.
Anyway, dinner at the Sopranos house. Let's talk about dinner at the Sopranos house.
What are they eating in this scene?
I don't know. What are they eating?
And what are we going to call our new food segment?
I liked your name. Gangster Gabagool.
Oh, let's talk about some gangster gabagool at the dinner table.
I love it.
They're eating mac and cheese. It looks like they're eating takeout. Does it look like they're eating takeout, or was that food that Carm cooked?
My kids love that mac and cheese, boy.
Well, Italian mac and cheese is a whole different version. My grandmother's mac and cheese was out of control, and I haven't attempted it since she's died, actually, which has been years. And we keep talking about it at home, and we're gonna do it. Yeah. Gangster gabagool.
I love
mac
that.
and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
You got to make it with ziti or rigatoni. You got to use 4 cheeses.
ziti or we get 4 cheeses.
Yeah, I don't have the exact recipe, so I'm going to back out of this one for now, and I'm going to get it and talk.
We will post it on our website.
Yeah, I have to test it out
You know what?
first.
Don't say it. I want people to go visit our website. And there's going to be a recipe section that we talk
have to
about.
have a recipe section.
So why
always.
don't you go there and you can
Gangster
download
Goddess Broadcast,
episodes.
people.
Yeah,
Gangster Goddess
GangsterGoddessBroadcast.com.
But let's get back into that scene. I liked the mention of DNA. that AJ is talking about DNA, and the name of this episode is DNR, which is Do Not Resuscitate. He's asking a lot of questions about DNA. I think Carmela even says there'll be no more unknown soldiers because of DNA, which I thought was kind of an interesting thing for Carmela to bring up, considering all the
dead bodies that her husband leaves behind.
And they're soldiers. They're all soldiers of the mafia, you know?
Oh, yeah.
There's the, what was it? Oh, she's still not Olivia. Janice has replaced Livia at the dinner table for sure. And we're going to really feel that. We're going to really feel that at some point. Yeah.
That's a good call.
She's such a product of her mother. So when he's talking about DNA, all I could think of at that table was the DNA is on display here in this house, at this table, because those genes of Livia's have traveled right through to the very core of both Tony Soprano and Janice Soprano. And then he gets infuriated with Janice for bringing up Livia and the house and blah, 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 blah. And there's a comment. Meadow makes a comment. She calls him El Duce, which is a name given
She's such a sassy teenager.
Yes, and smart. I mean, because she's talking about Mussolini, who's a fascist.
She's smarter than Tony. Yeah. I feel like in the book smart.
Yeah, but
he's intelligent. But
he's super intelligent. Yes, and they all are. They're so calculated.
She's in college. Is she in college at this time?
No,
not yet.
Wait. Yes.
Or she's going to college.
I'm confused. I'm going to have to.
We'll have to look that up.
But anyway, El Duce. She says that then later at the other Soprano dinner when they're eating the sausage, and he makes a comment about her eating that she doesn't eat sausage anymore.
She's eating pork.
Yeah, of course. And Tony and AJ's like, I know what that means. He's like, you don't eat that kind of sausage. But Janice says something else there, which is another fascist comment. So we'll get to it when we get to that scene. Yeah. But anyhow, let's see what else.
The cops find the Cadillac by the river, abandoned, and that's with the hairpiece under the tire. We talked about that.
I don't know.
The guy died.
I don't really know what that's all about.
Green Grove. Well, it's just basically them pushing. I think like blaming this other guy when it was really Livia and Junior. It was like about the guy. He was saying this guy
killed him for gossiping.
I know, but they were just like trying.
Everyone gossiping.
I know,
but anyhow.
Okay.
Basically, they're saying, "Open your mouth, you get killed," and that goes across the board. And again, the mouth, resuscitate, everything, just Boca, all of these sort of mouth.
And even when Tony sat down in the beginning of the scene, and he said, "Everybody's talking. Yeah, everybody's talking about you," to Junior. And Junior was saying it back to him. I think they were both saying it to each other. He said, people in here are talking about you, about people in here are talking about the son who put the pillow over the mother's face.
Because everyone's seeing it.
So everybody's talking on both ends, everywhere. So then we, Meadows driving lesson with Janice, who you love. They're discussing Tony and how he's insecure.
Yeah, and Janice is totally trying to find a way to manipulate Livia
through Meadow, through what Meadow knows.
Yeah, and music,
and she refers those old records to her. And then we have that great scene with Bobby and Junior at the ophthalmologist, which I loved that. But we spoke about that. The new glasses. How would I look on TV?
Yeah, that seems oblivious. Important. I know we talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
But
so cute.
It's meaningful. It's super meaningful that he doesn't like to see himself at this point. And then you have all these. You the first guy you see is the black guy with the big glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's this whole reference. Obviously, that was a clear choice by the writers to put him at an eye doctor, and not a heart doctor this time, because now these are not matters of the heart. Now it's about seeing clearly and whether or not and what everyone's perspective is. Do you know what I mean? Sort of like what kind of glasses you want to see people through.
Yeah, how did I look on TV?
I'm wearing 2 pairs of glasses for this episode because we're talking about the ophthalmologist's office.
And it's so funny that Bobby doesn't even... You know what's interesting?
What?
talking about that. He's like, how did I look on TV? Bobby says, you're on TV.
I know.
Bobby doesn't even see him for who he is. Like,
No.
Bobby says and in the other scene, him saying he just inherited him. It's like he doesn't even know who he is or see him
Yes.
at all.
Good point.
Yes.
I like that point. And I think also with the elders, they're so worried about being
I
forgotten.
know, or not seen and not
And I
heard.
think I don't know what song it is. I think it might be the Pavarotti song. I can't believe I just said Pavarotti like that instead of Pavarotti.
Oh, Jesus.
Pavarotti. Look at
There
me.
we go.
Look at me. Look at me. Pavarotti. Say it.
Nope.
Come on.
Barotti.
Oh, I love
I
it.
try. I only can do it once. I can only do it once.
But I think the song he's singing, I could be wrong. Oh wait, it's right here.
Oh, good. Say that
Non
one.
te scordar de mí. Don't forget about me. Yeah.
Look, you're so good. with
Well,
the
because I speak
tongue.
Spanish, no me olvides would be the way he would say it. But yeah, don't forget about me.
Yeah. And that's what Janice tries to bond with Livia. She brings the
That
flowers
fucking scene,
and
dude. Well, it comes straight from the oh my God, ophthalmologist.
Yes.
It comes straight from that scene, and she's opening her eyes, and what's the first thing you see? It's a blurred image of her arranging the flowers, and it's in slow motion.
oh yeah, it was.
It was a strange moment. I liked it a lot.
It was great.
And then it came into focus, and the music was there, so it totally
She was
relates to
happy,
the
and they
the
were bonding
ophthalmologist's
for a
office.
second. For a
That
second.
scene was really beautiful
Yeah.
and a really great setup for Hell. I
Yes.
loved it. Yeah, it was really, really great. But you can see, well, first of all, the ring on her finger. You could see her scorpion ring.
Yep. Hinting that she's poisonous.
Yeah, she's her daughter.
So I got bitten by the
She's
scorpion.
playing her. The
Did
way,
I tell you that we found scorpions in this house? Like,
dude? I watched you kill a scorpion. in
wait.
this house.
I woke up. What is with my house? In the beginning of the episode, I was talking about snakes. Now I literally woke up once and I screamed on the corner of my bed. There was a dead scorpion next to my head. I mean,
at least it was dead. Do you remember the one that your dog almost stepped on?
Yes.
And you had your clogs on, and your dog Izzy, our girl Izzy,
my
she could
baby.
barely walk back then.
oh my, I freaked out. You see, I'm very good under pressure, by the
You
way.
lifted that dog up and killed that scorpion.
Yes.
You were screaming your
You're like,
brains
because I
out.
knew-
You were like, Dave's looking at our levels right now to see how loud I just screamed into
Dave
this
remembers
microphone.
because it was something like I was screaming in pain because I knew could, like I was so scared, but I knew I had to do it. So I was like, I'm gonna do it, and I was like,
insane.
that
Dude,
was
we had a scorpion in
that
our
was at a
kitchen.
birthday party. I think it was at like
Yeah, it was a
Frankie's-
party. We were having a party
and
here.
I saw that thing.
You had a
move.
dress on and clogs and high heel clogs.
Yeah.
And you destroyed this thing.
And I'm the person who normally runs, but it was by my
No,
dog.
no.
It was by
thank
snakes
you.
and all that.
No,
it was
thank
by
you.
my dog. No way.
We had one in our kitchen, and Yael, my
Yeah,
friend,
yeah.
you know Yael, she's like, dude, look over here. There's a scorpion. I was like, stop it. And that was during a lot of dark times in my house. And I was like, what the You're lying to me. And I turn around the corner of the kitchen, and there's an enormous scorpion with its tail up, and the two of us, and she's tough.
yeah.
I was like, let's call Letty. So we call Letty,
Next
our
thing you're like, let's call
housekeeper.
Chris.
She comes downstairs, half asleep, in her pajamas, in her underwear, Letty, with her eyes closed. And I go, Letty, hay un escorpión allá. Letty, hay un jodido escorpión. She grabs the barbecue lighter off of the pot rack.
No, she lit on fire.
Dude, she walked over to it and lit it on fire. And then with her
She's
eyes
no
closed,
joke.
put the lighter thing back on the rail thing and walked out of the
You don't
kitchen. I
need
was
it.
like, "That's it, Letty?" She was like, "Buenas noches, no me jodes."
No one can with that house or you. You don't even need a
the
guard
witches.
dog.
We're all witches in
although
there.
you have a guard dog, you don't need one because you got Letty. Letty will light some on fire. They try to break into that house.
Dude, the whole house between Monkey, Letty, now Ginger staying.
Oh my
and,
God.
I mean, poor Robbie. He's like the only man. He doesn't speak any Spanish. We're all kak, 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 kak.
Oh, a bunch of magpies. Okay, back to the scorpion. Blah blah blah. The ring on Janice's finger. Yes.
Yeah, she's a snake. I'm surprised it wasn't a snake ring.
I know, right?
It should have been. But she
well,
had
they
the
mentioned
scorpion.
that she's a slithering snake.
Olivia, she's a snake in the grass,
Yeah.
that one. Anyway, after that scene, after that beautiful scene where they show the close-ups of the hands, the flowers, the music, all grudges are lost through music. You know how you and I feel about music,
Yes.
Kushner, and how, our two lovely, awesome, beautiful producing men are in this room right now. Do you?
They're like, you guys keep
Can
talking.
you guys play us a song when we're done?
They're like, look, Robbie's yawning. Okay, let's get through
I
this.
know.
They're like-
Anyway, Janice gets in the car and mother and child reunion is on. How perfect.
I know.
Also, when I heard that song playing on the show, and the episode
lighting up a
1
joint.
opening up with Sinatra, I'm just like, wow, the show's got money now. We got
Yeah.
legs. We're buying really
Real
expensive
songs,
music,
yeah.
man. So yeah, mother and child reunion, and I love watching her in the scene because that's the Aida. Forget
I
about
know.
Janice. That's the Aida that I know. Wait till you meet her, you will adore her.
Just her singing on that.
She's the warmest.
Yeah, I can see it.
gentlest, most nurturing, but she's also just one of us. Like she has all the same neurosis and craziness. She's one of the most amazing humans that I've ever met. So I'm just gonna say that.
Amazing.
So when she's singing that song and I can see her soul shining through,
Yeah.
that is Aida. I know she's Janice, but in that
she's-
scene,
She's
she is.
Aida.
She's Aida.
She's driving, she's singing, and she's smoking a joint. That's she's cute. She's cute.
Cute.
Okay, so then Bobby and Tony meet.
Oh.
I think it's time
he
for
tries
you
to
to
get out of the
seriously
car.
consider salads.
I know, but do you see how hard it is for him to get out of the car?
I know. Poor guy. And then after Tony leaves, Bobby spits and says, why don't you look in the mirror sometime, you insensitive
You never hear anyone talk about Tony Soprano that way, except for Pussy having his issues
Yeah.
with Tony Soprano. I think it's I like it. I like it because he's so gentle and so soft.
Well, everything. He has a right to say it because he doesn't have any beef with Tony. Shouldn't have any beef with him just because he's inherited Junior. Okay, so dinner at the Sopranos. AJ says grace, and Janice shows up late. Sausage. There's your comment.
Sausage. Oh, I forgot you don't eat pork in that way. Of course, AJ likes that.
But it's such a sibling thing. The busting of the balls.
Yeah.
I believe that these two are brother and sister. Do you?
Oh yeah.
Like
totally.
1,000%.
They believed they were brothers. Oh,
I
no, I'm
know.
talking about the kids right now.
No,
I was just talking.
I'm
about the
talking
kids.
about Tony and Aida.
Oh my God.
Tony and
the
Janice.
best casting of all time.
So good.
Best casting. But another comment here with the she makes another, I don't even know why. It's in relation to Meadow talking about parallel parking.
Which one?
And I think, maybe I heard it wrong, but Janice says fascist martinet, which is I'm stuttering because I'm trying to get this thought out and I can't, and it's hard. I'm trying to give birth to this. Hold on. So in the last dinner scene where they're eating mac and cheese, the kid, Meadow, says El Duce. She calls him El Duce,
Yeah.
which is short for Mussolini, who's the notorious fascist. Now in this one about the parking, she says fascist martinet, which is the person, she's talking about the Futurist Manifesto, which is all about fascism. I don't get I have to examine this more. So I'm going to leave it alone.
Okay.
But there's something there, and I don't know what it is. But anyway, dinner table. Yeah. I don't know what to say.
Why? What don't you do? Why?
Because I'm stumped by that. I was stumped. I was stumped when I watched it. I rewound it 3 times.
Which
I'm like,
part? Which part? Which part?
When she says, I'm not going to even, let's not expound upon this because I'm probably not going to get it together here.
Why? What is
But then after dinner, they go by the pool.
I really want to know what just happened to you.
Well, there's 2 mentions of fascism at dinner.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even know why Janice mentions the fascism after she's talking about parallel parking. It kind of, the 2 things,
Don't go.
I don't find the correlation. So I don't want to really talk about it because
Okay,
I
yeah, I
might sound like I
gotcha.
don't know what I'm talking about, but there's definitely something there that I have to go back and check on. And if you guys out there understand any words of what I'm saying and you want to write in and tell us,
We would love
I
to
would
hear.
love to hear because we would like to include our fans as much as possible in this
Any
new
questions?
rewatch.
Yeah.
We'd like to bring some fans on from time to time.
Yeah.
Again, we also want you guys to submit your cooking segments if you'd like, especially ones that are filthy and funny, or even ones that are
Just
sentimental
yeah.
and
Family recipes.
family recipes, talking about your grandmas, talking about anything that makes you feel communal, because all of these Soprano dinner scenes have an element to them that I know Chris and I grew up with on Sundays. A lot of Italians out there that listen to this podcast have had that same experience. It doesn't have to be Sunday dinner, but anything that brings people together. Music brings people together, but nothing brings people together like food. So, yes. Write in
Can
and
we-
send videos as well if you'd
I'm
like.
moving us along to
ahead.
Janice and Tony by the pool because I really like that scene. When they're by the pool, when he walks out, first of all, those fireflies back on the East Coast,
Did you see fireflies?
the sound. Weren't they fireflies that were making
I'm
that
talking about
heat?
the cicadas.
Is
The ones that
that-
make all the nice nighttime sound.
I don't know. I heard the sound when I was watching it.
The fireflies are pretty.
I know, but she says, and everyone can correct me if I'm wrong.
Go, girl.
She
Go, girl.
says,
F
"I
it
miss
up."
these fireflies."
Oh, she says it.
I think she does.
Oh, I don't
But
remember.
I heard them too because it's like there's that certain smell in the air in a Jersey summer.
I love it.
And there's a certain that sound. It's like a pitch black, calm, beautiful, like chirping sound at night by the
I
pool.
love the sound of the crickets at
air
night.
is like a warm blanket in the summer. We don't get that.
No.
It's weird here in California. It's like beautiful, and I'm grateful for the mountains and the this, the
we
that.
don't get the warm nights all
You
the
don't
time.
get the warm nights.
Like,
And
it's
in
cool.
Jersey summers, you have the
Hot,
beautiful,
muggy.
not muggy, beautiful.
Oh, it gets muggy. I
And you
like
have
it.
fireflies, and the kids are chasing the lights and the fireflies. We used to grab the fireflies. How gross is this? And make rings out of them. We used to take their little firefly butts that like light up.
You would kill them.
We'd kill them and put them on our. Like,
up,
look,
Chris.
we have rings.
We're gonna get in trouble now.
Okay, for fireflies.
We have to cut this whole thing out. No, I'm kidding.
Or
I'm kidding.
we would put
no,
them.
we don't.
We
You want
would
me to tell
put-
you what I did?
We would put them in jars, and they would all light up, and we'd run around. I mean, it was magical when the fireflies are out. How magical is that?
I love
Jersey's
it.
an awesome place to live with the snow, the firefly. It's got a lot.
You got a lot. It's true. Well,
It's
New
got a
York,
bad
New York
rap.
too for me.
Yeah, New
no,
York
no,
too.
it's all the same to me. But East Coast is East Coast.
Yeah. Well,
But
Jersey's got a bad
We
rap.
collected the fireflies. I did
Mhm.
because I was a very lonesome child.
Yeah, me too.
So I had a canopy bed that I only slept in.
Oh,
for
no,
maybe
you did
2
not.
years. I would collect the fireflies and close the door to my bedroom
Put them all up in the
and
canopy.
just let them all. And then in the morning, I'd wake up and they'd all be dead on the floor.
And
But
your mom didn't come in and want to kill you for all those fireflies up
I
in the
don't even know if
canopy?
my mom knew that I lived there.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry now. Now I'm gonna cry. You and I should have been friends when we were 5.
I
My
know.
brother was so much older. We had no one to hang out with. We would hang
My
out with
brother is
each other.
7 years older than me.
Mine is 6.
And my other brother's 11 years older
Yeah.
than me. He didn't even live with us
It's like
half the time.
when you're that young and you have a brother or sister sibling that's that much older, 6 years or above, it's like being an only child.
Yeah.
Because you can't relate. There's such a big
No.
age difference. You come closer as you grow up,
Yeah.
maybe, or go further apart.
We've done it all.
Yeah.
Closer, further apart now.
Fireflies are magical little beings.
Yeah, so they have that moment by the pool, which is a nice brother-sister moment. But again,
Is she manipulating him?
well, she's actually giving him the truth of the matter here. It's not even, there's not too much of a manipulation here. And he sees through her shit, and she's 100% sure, she knows that he sees through her shit. There's not much she can
He just
do.
doesn't. He's just like, I'm done with this. Take her.
So he knows he's in control.
Oh, he's like messing with her now.
Yeah,
it's kind
he's
of
in
like
total
yeah.
control.
He's in control. He's messing with her. Tony and Pussy in the car watching the protests, And then this is where Christopher's boys from The Office see Tony.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yep.
That's what I like to call
They're
them.
such idiots. Like, there's Tony, and they like run. I think they have bats in their hand, right?
Yeah, well, they're because those are the boys that are hired to go and fake the fake
In your shot.
the fake beatdown, which of course they go too
that's
far,
right.
and
Yeah.
they say that later.
Yeah.
Reverend James says it later.
But idiots that they go after Tony, and Tony's trying to be incognito. And then we have Christopher fighting with the protesters.
Yeah, and at that point in the episode, it's so funny. I was like, wait a minute. Before that scene started, I went, wait a minute, Christopher's not in this episode. And then boom,
He's
appeared.
right in there, yeah.
It was like I was needing to see Christopher for a second because I was missing him from the episode. But a lot of his, like Silvio and Paulie aren't in it that much either. A lot of new characters coming in.
Yeah.
So
And then this is the hospital scene with Janice and Olivia, where
wait, can I just? I love Christopher's line
what? God say it.
when the protester goes, "You are." Christopher goes, "Well, keep your mother off the streets then, and I won't her."
Why is your mother jokes so funny?
Why is Christopher so funny?
Christopher's
His fucking delivery
is
on
amazing.
Everything is perfect.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
role, he's really
I know.
And it seems it's so opposite. I mean, I don't know Michael Imperioli, but just even having him
That's
on.
not something Michael Imperioli would
No,
say.
that's what I was saying. I don't know him well.
Even back
we
then.
interviewed him in our last podcast,
Yeah.
not too long ago. His role of Christopher couldn't seem, because I don't know him, more opposite
Yeah,
than
totally
who he is
different.
as a person.
Totally different.
Or
Even
maybe
back
he
then.
just grew up too. I don't know. Differently.
No.
I
He
don't
was
know.
playing a character, and he did it beautifully.
Amazingly. So, okay. So now we're at the hospital with Janice and Olivia.
Oh, this scene.
Is this the one? This is the one.
No, actually,
No, this isn't the one.
This isn't the one. There's so many of them.
I know. There's like 3. I think there's 3.
It's when she's in physical therapy, but this scene is a preamp for it.
Olivia, she wants to go back to Green Grove here, and Janice, Janice. I was Janice.
Can you just call her Parvati?
Janice. I'm calling her Janice. She wants to take care of her. She wants to get back into that house.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think Livia's just caught off guard, thinking, nobody wants to take care of me. Why would I go anywhere else? But she starts choking on that cookie,
I know.
and it's such.
I know.
And she's basically showing her daughter, "You can't take care of me. How are you going to take care of me?" She wants to stay in the hospital because she knows that that's where she's going to get the right care. She doesn't trust any of her
they
family
got hot
members
towels. They
anymore.
change fresh towels or whatever. Fresh towels every day.
Yeah,
Why wouldn't you?
that's she's serious about.
Yeah.
But she's also in the back of her mind knows everybody wants me dead.
Everybody wants her dead.
Yeah.
I just think she likes it because you remember that one scene where Tony went to see the Green Grove's administrator, and they're like, "Oh, your mom's been in like water aerobics and this." And that.
Yeah.
I think she's like, for the first time in her life, she's actually, she's
Part of a
enjoying.
community.
She's part of a community. And it's funny because she doesn't want to go back to Green Grove, and the whole reason for her wanting to put a hit on Tony is because. Like the climax of it was because of the house.
Yeah, well,
selling
she
the house.
uses it all. She
Yeah,
just
but
uses anything.
the house thing was for her. She couldn't get over, and like that's when she told Junior, like
Yeah.
that's when she needed Junior, and now her house could be back, and she's like, no, I want to go back to Green Grove.
Yeah.
So okay, fresh towels, Green Grove. That's where I'm going. Do you want to go? What are you going to do?
Green Grove, I'll go.
Well, do you want to
If
go?
we go together.
I would love to be. Listen, in a retirement community, I would do it.
Dude, we'd be the Golden Girls
We
there.
would be the Golden Girls.
Who am I? Who am I? Would I be Betty White?
Oh, I don't know.
You're the nice one. What's her name? I can't
Who's
remember her
Is
name.
it the big one?
No, you're not Maud.
Wait, what's the other one?
You're like the nice little one. The little nice. I can't remember her name.
Who's the sexy one? Remember the sexy
That's
one?
you.
This-
That's her.
Oh,
that's
no,
you.
that's you.
No, I forgot. No, I am Betty White.
Well, you're Betty White?
Even though she's the prim and proper one.
You are not Betty White. You don't even know who you are, girl.
But I
Let's
know who
get-
Betty
we'll
White
get into
really.
that.
I'm Betty White. I'm not her character on Golden Girls.
No, I'm the tough one. The big tough one.
Maud.
Yes, she's not
Yeah,
really
Maud.
tough. She kind of organizes shit. Ma, is that her name? Maud?
Yeah.
She organizes.
She's
it.
always has her house coats
And
on, her big swinging between her knees.
You're the one. You're definitely the sexy one with all like the
No,
kid.
you're the sexy
kid
one.
heels.
No.
Okay, people are like, shut up. Get back to the
I
Sopranos.
know, Sopranos. Are these talking about anyway?
Golden Girls. We didn't.
That's right, they really
This is
are.
called Gangster Goddess, not
Gangster,
Golden.
golden gangster girls.
Not Gangster. Margot, sorry. Oh my God, our producer. Okay. Anyway, yes. We're gonna go.
DNR talk. We got the DNR talk. So that's a good setup there where they're talking about it.
Oh, at the Soprano house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Janice is talking to Tony.
And it's like they're talking about it in the moment. Then the kids want to go see Livia in the moment. Like kids actually want to go visit grandma. None.
No, well, I
She
think
just wants
that
to drive the car.
No, she wants to drive the car, but Meadow also wants to go see her friend Hunter, the eating disorder,
Who's just Scangarello.
Scangarello, who happens to be David Chase's daughter, and she's in there. I guess I don't know if she's either just in there, or if she has a meeting there for eating disorder. So Meadow and AJ visit Livia. They go.
And AJ is constantly used as a vice
Always. Poor kid. He's
to give
so
to
cute.
bring information to her. He's like the messenger.
He doesn't know it. He's so
but
clueless.
he always goes in there and he always sets up these big conflicts.
I know, with the way he eats that candy with that wrapper. I don't know. I just really liked it. He's cute. It's really cute.
But that's where that's where the whole thing turns around. Like she thought she was trusting her daughter, and now with AJ's little bit of information,
But she turns on everybody. Are we talking about Livia?
yeah.
Because Livia says, and I'm sorry, I just cut you off.
Oh, no.
But now it's to AJ. My daughter has come and seen me. Pinnacle. We play Pinnacle.
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 Pinnacle. I don't know that game.
Daughters take care of their mothers. Better care of their mothers. So basically now she's about Tony to AJ and
Always.
saying and comparing him to Janice.
To what a saint she is going to be now until
Now,
he
Janice
mentions the
is
DNR.
great. Yeah, now Janice is she's a saint.
And
then,
now she's got nobody.
no, because they all want her killed.
And then it cuts to that scene. It cuts to the scene in the physical therapy, which is one of my favorite scenes.
It's such a good scene.
She goes, I seen that Widmark picture. And I think she's talking about the kiss of death. And she mentions the Not Resuscitate. She says she's going to leave all her money to the black woman who's helping her. Meanwhile, she's done and said nothing but awful racist towards black women
Always.
in the history of the
Yes.
show. And now she's going to leave all my money to you.
Oh, that was such a manipulation. She was messing with Janice.
Yeah, it's
Totally. Yeah, Janice is like, what? The money's buried at the house? Like, she thinks in her head that this money is somewhere, like, in a...
who, Janice?
Janice thinks that this
I don't
money...
think Janice believes her.
Oh, I do.
You do?
I think Janice has fallen for it. And that's why
But
she
you
looks...
see Janice's face as an
she
actor.
looks to the right of her head, and there's that stair sign with her, like, with the person, like, falling down the stairs, and
I
she
know.
pictures Livia's
Such a
face.
crazy choice.
But then which leads you to believe that she's gonna, like, having fantasies of, like, killing her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Janice is that simple-minded sometimes.
I think Janice is that malevolent too. I think she can be that evil. I
Yeah,
think she's
absolutely.
as evil as her mother.
Yeah, she's got that gene.
Yeah, and I think it's even worse than Tony's in a way. But of course, Tony's our anti-hero, so who the knows? That scene, though, the way Janice looks, and I know that people who are listening to the podcast and not seeing, the way she just condescendingly smiles at her, and she's just like, "Yeah, Mom. So we'll just go back there, and we'll,
Yeah.
and if we find it, we find it."
We find it.
And she's doing that thing with her eyes, and it's so manipulative, and it's so like the way Livia manipulates is in a different place. Janice manipulates; it's like very obvious that she's manipulating, and she's so it's less calculated than Livia, but she knows she has Livia by the. There's no way that she's in control.
Well, there's nowhere for Livia to go.
She's in total control.
Yeah. I mean, she can't go back to Green Grove.
Were you rooting for Olivia or Janice there? Because they're
I
both
don't
bad.
know. Not Janice, I have to say, but I don't know. Like, I want Livia to go back to Green Grove. I want her to take water aerobics again. Like, I don't know.
Are we suddenly rooting for Livia?
A little bit. Janice just seems like a pathetic leech. You know, like she's just money grab. Wherever the money is, she's even going to take care of her mother. They clearly haven't gotten along in the past.
But they both pretend to be somebody they're not.
Yeah.
Janice is pretending to be this hippie, this peace-loving,
Yeah, no.
intelligent, and then Livia is pretending to have been this woman who gave her life to her children on a silver platter.
Yeah, she did
They're
the best
both
job
not
she could.
who they think they are.
Mm-hmm.
Which again goes back to not being able to see oneself clearly, and the whole using the ophthalmologist's office.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Junior falling in the shower. And this is, and then they cut from him falling in the shower straight to Tony at the Reverend's house again, which I like that coupling of it because Tony really had an affinity for Reverend James Sr. And now we're seeing that Reverend James Sr. has passed. And you don't know why he's visiting him at first. And then you find out that they're
in cahoots.
Yeah. And they're playing everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that was a shocker to me.
Me too. It was a shocker to me also because watching the scene unfold, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, especially right now during this, you know, these times that we're in, I was like, wow, okay, this is going to be an interesting episode to tackle during these times.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't even know how, as a white girl, like, I don't even know what to say because I don't want to be irresponsible in anything that I might say, because it scares me a little bit, which also makes me feel like, you know, if we're being real here and talking about stuff, like, I feel like I'm part of the problem, you know, in a lot of ways, because I don't know what to say. Like, I just want to be really clear and thoughtful in saying anything about anything. So when I first saw this was a theme on the show for this episode, having not remembered what the twist was at the end, I was a little nervous. And then when I saw what the twist was at the end, I was like, holy like total Sopranos style storytelling.
Totally.
Where it's like everybody's guilty. It's like everybody is on the move here.
Everybody
in the Soprano world, in Soprano land, and in
Yeah.
the mafia world. I mean, any gangster. I mean, and I've said this on the last podcast.
I mean,
every
but that
culture
sucks. But
every
that
culture has their dregs.
There's a
you know,
difference
and us, the mafiosos are the dregs of the Italian community and
but
the
there's a difference
subculture.
between the head.
But this man's a reverend.
This man's a reverend.
Right.
He's heading. These believe that he's helping them fight, and
course.
and that's different. That's a different man than Tony Soprano. Tony
No,
Soprano is who he is, and everybody knows.
Knows
and
he's a
he knows
gangster.
who he is.
Right.
And
This
he
man's a
can't deal
real-
with it. You know what I mean?
I was
But
shocked.
This
too.
guy is playing two sides of the fence, and really a piece of shit for doing
he's
that.
a gangster. He's a reverend and he's a gangster. And it reminded me of Father Phil.
I know, and that's the part. I'd rather be married to somebody. Oh, I'd rather. Maybe we should play. I'd rather. Wait, I'd rather be married to
Did
somebody.
you just find a segment that you
I
want to
think
start
I
on the
do.
show?
What's that?
Punch you. I'm going to hit
Oh,
you
that
with your
game.
mic.
Is
Look,
it?
I
I'd
can hit you with
rather
your mic on the
kill.
teeth.
What is it? Kill, murder. What is it? I'd rather kill. It's that game. Kill, murder. Blah blah blah.
I thought we were going to do
No, I know, but
Eat.
there's a game like it. But I wanted to change it around.
eat, marry.
Yeah, eat. Marry.
No,
Who
eat,
would you
marry,
rather? What would you rather?
Wait, what is it? Eat,
I don't know.
eat,
Eat.
marry.
Yeah, eat, marry, or fuck up. Who would you What would you rather eat from this episode? Who would you rather marry? Who would you marry? And who would you up? Whatever.
It could be either or.
I guess so.
But
We're gonna call the segment "Eat, Marry,
Okay.
That's it, and you can interpret it however
I
you
want
want.
to eat sausage and mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I want to marry Aida in this one.
Oh,
In the car. I want to marry Aida in the car.
Uh huh.
And although I could marry Tony in his white sweater too. I could go both ways. Just a little brother-sister team.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just, you could be the girl on the block who slept with the brother and the sister.
God.
That
That could be you.
and then who do I want to over?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would have over Janice. She's annoying to me in this episode. I just don't
I
like
love her.
people who
I
pretend
love
to be
her.
something they're not.
I agree.
I'd
I
rather have an
love-
asshole as a friend and that everybody knows that guy's an asshole and he knows he's kind of an asshole and he says he's an asshole than someone pretending that they're not, but they're a snake in the grass. I want to her up. I want to eat mac and cheese and I don't know who I want to marry. There you go. I want to be
I kind of
single.
want to up the Reverend Junior.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Him too.
I might go for him
Listen,
because
we don't
like
have to have one person on each list. We can have two person on each list.
because I feel like his dad just died. The memory, like if his dad knew that his son wasn't who he thought he was,
Yeah.
and now his dad's gonna know if he's in this other dimension that's probably not so far from this one. He's gonna see his son through the thin veil.
See it. What if the dad was in on it too, though?
He wasn't.
Are we sure?
Yeah, he wasn't.
Are you sure?
That was a noble man.
I hope so. You never. Well, I thought the Reverend.
They comment on it too.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
I must have
Anyhow,
missed that one.
this
Okay,
is,
we're gonna do that segment again next time too. I like that.
Eat, marry, over.
Yeah. We'll just call it "Eat, Marry, but we know what we mean.
I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah, we're gonna put on T-shirts too. So go buy one.
So this
Eat,
is
Marry, Soprano
that-
House.
Oh yeah, the phone call.
Yes.
Interesting. She doesn't know why Johnny is upset with her. So she's playing her dementia card slightly. Do you like the way I'm sitting?
I know. What is that? Who's on?
Hello.
Hello. Where's the tea? Okay, come on. Come on, let's do this. We're a home run. We're at the home.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
I can see it. Okay, so Olivia calls to talk to Carm.
Yeah, she says, I did a good job raising my children. She said she's going to leave all her money to the kids. So she's trying to make amends. She's trying to clear herself. She knows she's going to be going
With
home.
money, with like nothing. Like,
Yeah.
how about
Bribing them with the money, and there isn't even any money there. Otherwise, it would be able to pay for Green Grove.
how about
There
an
is no money.
apology? How about I'm a piece of I made some really bad
Accountability.
calls. You know,
How many people do we know that don't take accountability for their
So many.
Too
or,
many.
Or how about, I miss you? How about starting a conversation like that? I miss you, Tony, and the kids.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Maybe you don't even have to apologize, but starting it like that instead
Yeah.
of talking about, I'm going to leave all my money to the kids. Ugh. Anyway, Carm hangs up on Livia.
Yeah, and she says that's where she says that they're all unhappy, and they're all unhappy.
Yeah.
Carmela
I love that. I
says.
love that she calls her out.
And then she hangs up on her, and then we cut to that scene. Now,
Yeah.
I cried when I watched that
I
scene
know. It was so sweet when he was carrying him out.
because he has a moment between he and Bacala too, where you see that there's no antagonism
No.
here, and he goes to pick him up. When he goes to pick up Junior, and Junior goes, "Well, what are you doing?" His dignity, this is
This is the decline. This is the downhill for Junior. I
But to
feel.
see Tony Soprano pick him up, and you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if that was a Jim choice, because it's possible that it was.
Yeah.
Picks him up, and he's so vulnerable in his arms, and he says,
He carries him out like a baby.
and he says to him,
A rebirth.
"Don't make me
Maybe it's a
die
rebirth
with
of-
this guilt."
Mhm.
And he goes, "You're not going anywhere, old man,"
I
or whatever he
know.
says. And it's like you see that love. You see the he's Tony Soprano. He's not the Iceman.
No, he can't let Junior
He's
go.
not fucking Iceman. He can't. He has too much heart. No matter how much of a stone killer he is, he's got so much fucking heart and soul.
Well, I think Junior's going to see this now, right?
I don't want to.
I didn't watch.
I've watched ahead for a few, but I don't know exactly what happens. We don't want to give anything
No.
away. But that moment, just that, and I love the way a lot of these episodes on The Sopranos end, because they're always kind of a tableau, and there's always sort of a meaningful, quiet moment. And I loved the ending of the
that was
episode.
like maybe
and they're playing Ella Fitzgerald
Oh,
over
I
it,
love her.
which is
Maybe that him carrying him out like a baby And like that was like a rebirth of their relationship, hopefully. Maybe that was the start of it.
Yeah, which again for me goes right back to the title, and also goes back to our theme of being busted and readjusted.
Yes. Maybe their relationships is getting readjusted.
Yep.
It is readjusting for sure. I mean, what's not readjusting is him and Livia. That's still status quo.
Yeah, but he's gonna want to appease Junior at some point, and I don't know. The thing, I'm still trying to understand, and we'll talk about this moving forward. Why he's so quick to forgive Junior and so slow to forgive his mother. But we'll keep examining that as the episodes go.
Wow, and that does it for season 2, episode 2. Go ahead.
What would you like me to say?
I would like you to do a little closing.
Okay. Well, tune in next week for episode 3, Toodle f***ing Ooh, where we'll see a whole lot of trouble from Meadows' busted up high school house party to Richie April, my uncle. His return from prison. That's right.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Smash it. Do whatever you got to do. We're on YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcast, please hit that subscribe button. Go. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I'm just,
no,
that's it.
I'm not. I don't finish the episode.
Support the show by giving some love to our awesome sponsor, Proof, leak proof underwear.
Show them, Chris.
Yeah.
Show them your panties.
No. That's your job. That's not my job. Yeah.
So anyway, your old tagline used to be "See you on the Turnpike," but I don't think you want to say that anymore.
I got a new one.
What's it going to be?
What?
What's it going to be? How about see you at the Bing?
See at the no.
What about see you at the pork store?
Nope. You ready for it? You ready for it? I got it.
Okay.
It's so. See you next Tuesday. Get it?
Wait a minute. Explain to me.
Oh,
Explain.
We're aired on Tuesdays every Tuesday.
So who cares?
See you next Tuesday. See you. I mean, it's so fitting for this episode.
I didn't get it.
And your mouth.
I didn't get it, and I got it. No, I got it.
Oh my God, you didn't get it. That mouth. That
You're being dirty. You?
Yeah, it's for you. It's a present for you. See you next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday.
Can you do it like this though?
See you next Tuesday.
Punch
See you next Tuesday. All right, come on. We're done.
All right, can we go to bed now? It's an 18-hour episode. Thanks for watching
Always.
Gangster Goddess.
Always. Gangster Goddess Broadcast is a UV Ways and Monkey Mind Music Group production. Produced by Margot Carmichael, executive produced by Drea and Chris, and theme song by UV Ways.
The machine head.